The main event of Crown Jewel 2025 featured an intense showdown between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. In the build-up to the match, commentary continuously emphasized Rhodes' undefeated 3-0 record against the Visionary, adding extra pressure on Rollins to finally break the streak and reclaim his dominance. Before the match, however, there was tension brewing backstage. Paul Heyman had warned the Vision not to interfere, telling them, "Whatever happens, do not get involved in tonight's match. Do not help Seth Rollins." When Braun asked, "What if Cody wins?" Heyman's cryptic reply, "You know what that means," set an uneasy tone heading into the bout. Inside the ring, Seth Rollins wrestled with a mix of frustration and desperation throughout the match. The match escalated quickly with high-risk maneuvers from both men. Cody delivered an incredible avalanche crossroads, a move rarely seen at that intensity, while Rollins stunned the crowd by hitting a coast-to-coast style headbutt, a dangerous move that drew gasps from the audience. At one point, Rollins reached for his Rolex, hesitated, then later used it when the referee was down, knocking out Cody in a decisive turning point. Two devastating stomps followed, and Seth Rollins scored the victory, defeating Cody Rhodes to capture the Crown Jewel Championship. After the match, during his coronation, Rollins grabbed the microphone and made a bold declaration, calling himself the greatest of all time. Shortly after, Seth Rollins and Stephanie Vaquer stood side by side in the ring, proudly posing with their newly won Crown Jewel championships. But amid the celebration, there was a moment that didn't go unnoticed. Rollins turned to Stephanie and warned her that his wife, Becky Lynch, is coming for her Women's World Championship, a remark that drew a confident smile from Stephanie. The brief exchange may have been more than friendly banter. It could be WWE's subtle hint that Becky is nearing the end of her current run as Intercontinental Champion, possibly dropping the title to AJ Lee soon and shifting her focus to the world title picture. Seth Rollins' attire at Crown Jewel may have seemed brand new at first glance, but a closer look revealed a clever and emotional detail woven into the design. Subtly sewn into his leg were 3 small patches, each representing one of his past encounters with Cody Rhodes. The first patch was from his Hell in a Cell match, inspired by Dusty Rhodes' classic polka dot attire, originally meant to mock Cody. The second referenced the laced outfit Rollins wore at WrestleMania Backlash, and the third featured the pearlescent design from WrestleMania, marking Cody's triumphant return. Completing the symbolism was the Rolex watch Cody once gave him, which Rollins carried into the match. It was a striking piece of storytelling through attire, a small but powerful reminder of the deep history between both men. As we reported yesterday, CM Punk is officially back in the title picture and set to challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event. Now the big question, how should WWE book the finish? Should CM Punk finally reclaim the world title gold after all these years, or should the Visionary find a way to retain and continue his reign? How would you book this match? Clean win, controversial ending, or a shocking interference? Share your fantasy booking ideas in the comments below. The third match of the night was one of the most anticipated on the card, a final showdown between two icons, John Cena and AJ Styles. Both men received thunderous ovations, but the crowd's energy for Cena was unmatched. With this bout being billed as Mr. WWE versus Mr. TNA, the stage was set for a true generational clash. In a show of respect, Cena handed the ring announcer a note instructing her to introduce AJ Styles as the definition of total non-stop action and the ace and undisputed boss of the Bullet Club. Hearing those words in a WWE ring was surreal, a moment that perfectly reflected the mutual respect between two veterans nearing the twilight of their careers. There was also a hidden story told through Styles' gear. For this special encounter, he wore his original TNA attire, a callback to his earliest days. It was also the same outfit featured on his Pro Wrestling Illustrated cover alongside John Cena. Coincidentally, it was also the attire he wore during TNA's debut episode on Spike TV back in October 2005. The match itself was packed with tributes to some of wrestling's most influential names. Cena honored several legends with moves like Chris Jericho's Walls of Jericho, Rusev's Accolade, The Miz's skull-crushing finale, and Bray Wyatt's Sister Abigail. The tribute to Wyatt created an unforgettable moment. The arena lit up with fireflies as fans sang "He's got the whole world in his hands" and chanted "Thank you, Bray." Cena paused to take it all in, letting the emotion of the moment speak louder than any move. Commentary's call, "God bless Bray Wyatt," captured the sentiment perfectly. Cena continued paying homage with a series of classic maneuvers, including Randy Orton's RKO and DDT, a failed punt kick, The Undertaker's Tombstone, Big Show's Chokeslam, and even a failed pedigree and 619. There was also a nod to Frankie Kazarian's Fade to Black, a touching tribute to one of Cena's earliest opponents during his training days. Styles returned the favor with his own round of tributes, hitting Samoa Joe's Coquina Clutch, Shawn Michaels' Sweet Chin Music, Sting's Scorpion Death Drop, and Christopher Daniels' Angel Wings. For nearly 30 minutes, both men held the audience completely captivated, weaving nostalgia, emotion, and athletic precision into one of the most memorable matches of the year. In the end, it took a tombstone piledriver followed by an attitude adjustment for John Cena to finally secure the victory, closing a rivalry that defined an era. With John Cena now set to challenge Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship, that leaves one big question hanging in the air: who should AJ Styles face next? Who do you think should be AJ Styles' next opponent on the road to Survivor Series? Drop your picks and booking ideas in the comments below. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. The Australian street fight between Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed turned out to be one of the most chaotic bouts of the night. It served as a rematch from their Clash in Paris encounter, where the Tribal Chief walked away victorious. This time, however, the Auszilla came in determined to even the score, and the atmosphere in Perth made it feel personal from the start. It only took a few minutes before the fight spilled out of the ring and into the crowd. The OTC remained in control as he used the garbage can as a weapon. The Tribal Chief was having a great time playing to the crowd. He even grabbed a mic and asked the fans if they wanted to see some tables, which obviously got them even more excited. It took a long time for Reed to finally begin mounting some offense. Once he did, it became much more of a back-and-forth fight. The chaos hit another level when Braun Breaker suddenly made his way out. He blindsided Reigns with a devastating spear, then delivered a thunderous shield bomb through the announce desk, a shocking nod to Roman's past that left the crowd stunned. The interference gave the Usos their cue to involve themselves, but things quickly unraveled. Jay accidentally speared Reigns through a table that was set up in the ring, which was the beginning of the end. Reed hit the tsunami for the pin and the win. Reigns' loss came down to one clear factor: interference from Jey Uso. After the bout, Roman confronted the Usos, visibly furious over what had transpired. He told them, "This only works one way. I told you I wanted to do this alone." Roman's frustration was evident as he made it clear he didn't want their involvement. Before leaving, he looked at his cousins and said, "I love you, but I don't want to see you till Christmas." Given his limited WWE schedule, that line could easily double as reality. The next time fans see Roman might very well be around the holidays. As Roman walked away, the tension between the Usos only deepened. Jay looked at his brother and simply said, "I'm out," before heading to the back, leaving Jimmy standing alone in the ring. The moment mirrored the same dynamic fans have seen between Roman and his cousins for months. Jimmy's reaction said it all as he shouted after his brother, "But Jay, you're acting like Roman." It was a powerful moment that showed how the same cracks that once divided the bloodline are now splitting the Usos apart. Despite the emotion, the match structure itself had some uneven pacing. The sequences often paused before transitioning into the next, creating noticeable lulls. One particularly awkward moment came when Breaker was dismantling Reigns. The Usos' music hit, and instead of sprinting down for the save, they danced their way out to Jay's theme, leaving fans both amused and confused. Still, the street fight delivered its fair share of excitement. It wasn't the ultra-violent spectacle WWE hyped it up to be, but it had strong storytelling beats, surprise interference, and a satisfying finish. Reed scoring the win was the right call, a well-earned redemption for the Auszilla, and a major statement victory on home turf. The Women's Crown Jewel Championship was on the line as Stephanie Vaquer went head-to-head with Tiffany Stratton in a special showcase bout. Similar to the men's match, neither woman's personal title was at stake, and the Crown Jewel belt itself isn't meant to be defended like a traditional championship, making this more a battle for pride and prestige than gold. La Primera was the more aggressive competitor. She wasn't working like a heel, but she wasn't leaning into being a babyface either. Their match lasted around 10 minutes, but it felt like it could have benefited from a little more time to breathe. Some fans speculated that the shorter run time might have been due to the post-match segment involving the championship presentation and Stephanie's promo. However, there's also been unconfirmed talk online that the match may have been cut short due to a possible injury to Tiffany Stratton. During the match, Tiffany went for a swanton bomb and appeared to land headfirst on the knees of Stephanie Vaquer, raising concerns about a potential concussion or other injury. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but fans are hoping she's doing okay. Vaquer got the victory with a corkscrew moonsault to become the second Women's Crown Jewel champion, and thereby giving Stratton's first loss of 2025. Despite the abrupt finish, the outcome felt right. Stephanie Vaquer was the right choice to win this match, and her victory sets up an intriguing next chapter for the division. With Seth Rollins teasing that Becky Lynch might be coming after Stephanie Vaquer's title, and Vaquer herself revealing during the post-match press conference that she wants to face Rhea Ripley next, the women's division just got a lot more interesting. So now the question is, who should Stephanie Vaquer face next, and why? Should WWE give fans the long-awaited Vaquer versus Ripley showdown, or would you rather see Becky Lynch step up and bring her fire to the Women's World Championship picture? Australia's own Rhea Ripley teamed up with Io Sky to face Kairi Sane and Asuka in tag team action. Coming right after the Cena Styles showdown, the crowd gave Ripley a thunderous hometown ovation before settling into silence during the early part of the match. Sky spent a long time on defense while the Kabuki Warriors double-teamed her. Sky and Asuka both tagged out at the same time, and the crowd exploded when Ripley came in and started beating up both opponents. This was exactly what we all expected this match to be. All four women brought a lot of energy and physicality to the ring, so this was entertaining from start to finish. There wasn't a weak link. Everyone played a role and looked great between the ropes. In the end, Sane sacrificed herself to save Asuka, but it led to her demise as Ripley and Sky hit their finishers on her for the win. This result adds an interesting layer to the ongoing story between the Kabuki Warriors. Asuka now finds herself questioning Kairi Sane's performance after Kairi was the one pinned in the match, effectively letting the team down. The loss could easily fuel tension between the two, and all signs point to that friction continuing to build when Raw airs on Monday. However, it wasn't just the result that drew attention. During the match, a noticeable miscue involving Kairi Sane caught fans' eyes, one that briefly disrupted the flow of the action. Kairi appeared to forget her cue, prompting referee Jessica Carr to step in and subtly guide her through the next spot. After knocking down Io Sky, Sane hesitated before Carr could be heard reminding her multiple times to attack Ripley and take her off the apron to prevent a tag. Only after Carr's repeated instruction did Kairi finally run over and execute the move, allowing the match to continue as planned. That wraps up Crown Jewel. What did you think of the show overall? Were you satisfied with the match results, or did some of the outcomes catch you off guard? And most importantly, which match stood out as the best of the night for you? Share your thoughts, reactions, and match ratings down in the comments below. Over the past few days, WWE has seen another wave of roster cuts, and now we know why. Names like Wes Lee, Stevie Turner, Draco Knox, Jamar Hampton, Jin Tala, Hayes Jamison, Summer Sorrell, and Braden BJ Ray were all released from the company. Meanwhile, Kylie Ray confirmed that her NIL contract wasn't renewed, and Zeta Steele revealed that she personally chose not to re-sign. But unlike previous rounds, this latest string of exits wasn't tied to budget cuts or cost-saving measures. According to Brian Alvarez, the reason was purely performance-based. He explained on X, "WWE cuts were not budget-related. They have over 130 people in developmental and hire more regularly. If you're not progressing fast enough, or they feel you don't have what it takes for main roster, you're out to make room for someone new. Possible more cuts coming next week." In other words, WWE's developmental system is operating under a ruthless main roster or out mentality. It's not about financial strain, it's about speed, progress, and potential. If a talent isn't viewed as someone who can transition to Raw or SmackDown soon, their spot goes to the next recruit in line. It's a harsh environment that prioritizes short-term growth over long-term development, and according to Alvarez, this may only be the beginning. More names could be on the chopping block next week. Do you agree with WWE's approach of cutting developmental talent who don't move fast enough, or should rising stars be given more time to grow before being released? Share your thoughts in the comments below.